Okay, so for those of you who are not aware, as you can tell by looking at the screen, that there are two players in this match, Liivet versus WinstonWobbleton. I am assuming that his name is supposed to be pronounced Liivet, so I'm going to pronounce it Liivet. And if you are not aware, this is for the Arabia 16 1v1 tournament hosted by the Aoe2 HD OZ Clan, which is a very large Age of Empires 2 HD clan, which you can find the link to all of their stuff on the screen right now. And I will update the score at the end of every match, so I'm just going to be casting the matches between Liivet and WinstonWobbleton today, and then as soon as I get the recorded game files for the other matches, then I will cast those. And if you're curious, the settings are Arabia and Standard, so might as well get going. Alright, so Liivet versus WinstonWobbleton. Round 1 for the Aoe2 HD OZ Clan's Arabia 16 1v1 tournament. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm assuming, okay, so they both definitely randomed, I'm assuming, so. Liivet is Mongols, and WinstonWobbleton is the Spanish. Looks like Liivet is opening up with his standard opening of, you know, just putting down 2 houses. And what is... Alright, WinstonWobbleton's got a few idle villagers right off the bat. It's not good, but he is also opening with the still standard 2 houses. Doing a little bit of scouting. It looks like he has not found his sheep yet. So right off the bat, I can definitely say that Liivet appears to be at least faster than WinstonWobbleton right off the bat. I can say that. Because Liivet has already almost, I would say that he's like 2/3 done with 1 sheep by the time that WinstonWobbleton starts his. And I would say that that's probably an issue on scouting. Like right now his scout is idle, but if you look at Liivet, he is actually still scouting. And he's making good use of all of his units. You can see that Liivet is also scouting with his sheep, which I think is pretty important. And yeah, you can really see that he's got a lot of vision going on here, which is great. And he's doing the standard thing, you know, where he's got 6 villagers on sheep. You'll notice that he only keeps 1 sheep under the town center per, at a time, basically, so that only one of them's getting harvested. Because sheep slowly decay over time, so if only one of them is decaying, then you get a little extra food out of it. And it's the little things that can make the difference. So anyway, he's got the 6 villagers on sheep, then he's plopping down his lumber camp. He's probably going to put 3 on that, and then transition into another house, I think, and then get the boar. So already we can see some discrepancy in the build order between the players. If you take a look at WinstonWobbleton, he only has, well, he has 7 villagers on sheep instead of Liivet's 6. And right there you can see that he has a 2nd sheep decaying, which is a little bit inefficient but doesn't make a huge difference. I want to compare the vision that the 2 players have though, because Liivet is using his sheep to scout, and he's doing a great job really at maintaining his vision. But yeah, he's got 3 villagers on the lumber camp, and he's going to shoot the boar twice, and then lure the boar back to his town center. Now, he has to be careful because he's accidentally body blocking it with his sheep. Ah, that's actually pretty funny. Anyway, he's doing it without loom, which is definitely recommended if you know what you're doing. Looks like, yeah, so he's plopping down the house now. And he's going to kill the boar. Very well played, very well played. I'm assuming that since he's got a large flock of deer here, not really a flock, but a large group of deer here, he's going to be, yeah, he's going to start hunting those right now to exploit that Mongol hunting bonus to its full potential. What he's going to do is he's going to put, I'm assuming, 4 villagers on 1 deer so that before the villagers have to drop off the food from the deer will be completely finished. So there will be no excess walking time that the villagers have to do, which I think is pretty important. He might just put 3 though, because of the Mongol hunting bonus, I think. And yeah, he's gonna get the second boar right off the bat, so that as this boar is almost finished, he's going to have the other boar under there immediately. And see how WinstonWobbleton is doing. Alright, so he got loom, so he's slightly behind in an economic sense, but not by a significant margin. So I'm gonna shoot that twice. Now I want to compare vision though. Alright, so WinstonWobbleton has some very spotty vision, unfortunately. Usually what players will want to do is they'll want to scout out and basically find all their immediate near resources. So this would include your secondary gold mine. You start with one that's like 7, and then you have another one that's 4, and you know, like you got 5 here and then 4 somewhere else. So usually most players will try and scout out this stuff before they move on to scouting aggressively. It looks like WinstonWobbleton is plopping down a second lumber camp. This is a curious decision, because his first lumber camp isn't very saturated. I think it's important to get out an extra lumber camp when you've got too many villagers at a lumber camp. I would say maybe 7 or so should probably be the cap. Let's take a look at how Liivet is doing. Yeah, he should probably put all of his villagers on 1 deer, because the deer decay as well, but that doesn't make a significant difference. I'm assuming that Liivet has a lot of extra wood. Yes, so Liivet has a lot more wood than WinstonWobbleton, and he's going to have a very, very fast feudal age because of this Mongol hunting bonus. And yeah, now he's going to have the standard 4 villagers hunting. This is great. You'll notice that Liivet is using the forced drop-off. He's going to have his villagers like drop off food manually. He's going to select them all by dragging a box around them, and he's just going to right-click the town center or garrison them in to force drop off that food to shave off the extra few seconds, which is very, very cool. So he's going to have an insanely fast feudal. And you notice that, you know, he's holding on to a lot of wood. He's got an extra 100 wood on Mr. Wobbleton over here, because Wobbleton has 2 lumber camps, which this one is not saturated at all. Which means that, oh yeah, and great. So fast reaction speed. He knows that Winston is sending his scout through here, so he makes the great decision, and he garrisons his town center and just guns down the scout. This is huge, because now Wobbleton has no vision whatsoever. He's not going to be able to effectively scout, and like I said, the fact that Liivet was holding onto all this wood is really, really important. Because now he can just plop down a barracks, which he's doing right now, and the feudal flush is coming. We will see how Wobbleton reacts to this. It looks like he's actually still hunting his second boar, but that makes sense, I suppose, not being the Mongols. This clump of deer here, though, is going to give Liivet a huge, huge eco advantage. I'm assuming because he's floating so much food that he's going to plop out a stable and go scouts, but we'll see if I'm right. Ah, there we go. Stable and scouts. It's great because he can very easily afford it because of all this extra food that he has. Alright, so it looks like Wobbleton is saturating his lumber camps now, and yes, he's putting down his barracks. It's not that this is necessarily that late of a barracks, it's just that Liivet has a much faster feudal time. I do really like how Wobbleton is attempting a wall-off, however, I would say this wall-off is in a very bad position. For one, his lumber camp is right here, so these villagers would be incredibly vulnerable to harass. Liivet knows all of this because he's scouting, so you know he can see that there's a lumber camp right here. He knows where both of them are, and those are your targets when you're rushing. Is almost always the lumber camp, because wood is like the most important resource. So yeah, I'm not liking this wall off right here because these villagers are going to easily be able to get hit by archers or anything that comes by. And yeah, we've got scouts coming out right now. Liivet's still using the forced drop-off to ensure that his villager production stays high. And yeah, he sees all of this coming. What Wobbleton should probably do is try and wall at the top of a hill, just because when Liivet goes in here, there's this huge hill at the front. It's gonna give him a huge advantage in the combat. And these villagers are super vulnerable, and this isn't even a complete wall off. If you put another house right here, this might be okay in the meantime, but the scouts are coming. And we will see, is Wobbleton advancing yet? Alright, so Wobbleton is almost up. His feudal time is actually pretty good, but you'll notice that the population difference between the two of them is staggering. And it's not just that Liivet has, you know, like 4 scouts, right? It's that Liivet still has more villagers, despite the fact that he advanced sooner. Wobbleton should have at least equal population, but he doesn't. So anyway, I expect to see spearmen coming out from Red's barracks. Looks like he's going archers, or skirms actually, because, oh no, he's going archers. He's got gold on that. But yeah, like I said, you know, like, these villagers are super vulnerable up here, and there's nothing you can do about that. You'll see the spears coming out. Liivet is going to wisely back off, because that spearman will can kill a scout in about 3 hits. And yeah, he's just slipping through this wall. Look at all this idle time that these villagers are having right here, so this is really great from Liivet. And Liivet is also attempting a wall off himself. I like this wall off a bit better, even though it's, you know, there's still a hill advantage here. It's actually closed off, and there aren't any really vulnerable villagers near here. Obviously, besides the foragers, but those aren't nearly as important as the lumberjacks. I'd say the most important thing is to make sure that your lumber camp is in a safe position. This one's in a bit better of a position, not great, because archers and skirms can still slip over here and still fire at them. But this one is in a terrible position. I do like how Wobbleton is getting out a lot of these spearmen, though. That is a very good decision. Interesting to see that he is deciding to go archers, though. He does have the right eco for it, but, you know, Liivet's got all these scouts here, and those are going to devastate those archers. What he should probably do is split up his spearmen between these locations, and maybe make a few more, so that he doesn't get kited by these scouts all day, because, yeah, look at that. All of these villagers forced to be idle right here. It's as if he doesn't have them at all. And during this entire time, you know, Liivet is not stopping his villager production, and I'm assuming he's accumulating quite the population advantage. And he's still getting a good wall off here, so let's go. Yeah, there's like a 10 difference in population. That is a big problem. Looks like the archers are finally coming out. You can tell he's got nothing garrisoned there because there's no flag, so... Looks like Liivet has got some excellent, excellent control. He did lose 1 scout there, but that is so worth it, because, again, he's just really crippling Winston's economy here, and that is really significant. It's, I really still don't like this decision to have 2 different lumber camps here, because, you know, only one of them can really be saturated. He doesn't have enough villagers yet for that. Whereas, Liivet's is saturated enough that I think he could split into 2 if he wanted to, but he's not going to. You can see now that Liivet is obviously transitioning into archers, because now he's putting down his mining camp. And the reason that he's doing this and stopping his scout production is so that he can still get a reasonably fast castle age time. He does not want to spend that extra food. You'll notice that a lot of expert players will make a couple scouts or men-at-arms and whatnot, skirmishers, things that cost food in the feudal age as they, you know, just get to the feudal age. But then they will transition into primarily archers and things that cost very little food. So you'll never see a professional player continue going into scouts. And this is because he needs to conserve his food so that he can still go in advance. Alright, so this is good. It looks like Wobbleton has repelled Liivet's scouts for now. But we got all these idle villagers over here, and the score discrepancy is getting pretty significant. The archers are coming out from Liivet right here. And yeah, his economy is looking good. He's slowly stockpiling food. He's still keeping his villager production up. He's going to put a lot more on gold, though, as you can tell from his gather point. He's going to need it. And he should have a reasonably fast castle time as well. And this wall off is good. His base is very, very well designed. And you know, he's just keeping Wobbleton forcing him to defend himself, so that Liivet doesn't even need to worry about putting down any defensive watchtowers or anything that might slow him down. I do like the watchtower position a bit, because it does protect his gold, and it does protect this 1 lumber camp. But I don't think that makes a huge difference, just because there's such a big discrepancy between them right now. And Liivet's really not using this lumber camp. It does protect the gold, that's important, but this lumber camp is still vulnerable to harass, unless you put like a palisade here or here to block the villagers from walking around the beach. Yeah, so Liivet has rebuilt his lumber camp so that's closer. This is important because, again, it's all about the little things. He's got 2 mining camps here because he wants to ensure that his villagers spend as little time walking as possible. It's standard for most players to build at least a couple spears from their barracks, but you'll notice that Liivet has not done that at all, and that's a wise decision. He doesn't have to because there's no stable from WinstonWobbleton right now, so just saving a few extra resources. He's already got enough food to advance, now he just needs a little extra gold. I'm assuming that's why he's holding off the archer production, because he just wants to go to the next stage right now as soon as he can. And that would be huge. Look at all these spears that he's forced out from WinstonWobbleton here. That's going to really slow down his Castle Age timing. I think he overreacted a bit on the spears because no smart player will commit to scouts forever. You know, the players will build varying amounts of scouts based on the situation, but I don't think you'll ever see a professional player build, you know, maybe more than 8 scouts. So you don't need that many spears, maybe like 5 tops. But he's got quite a few. And a lot of idle villagers. Liivet's just got great control going on here. And the nice part about keeping these scouts alive, which he's been doing a great job at, is that he sees everything. He's got great vision all the time. Whereas, I don't remember the last time that... yeah, okay, so Wobbleton hasn't seen Liivet's base since the Dark Age, which is very, very significant. He has no idea what's going on over here. He hasn't even seen the archery ranges yet. And Liivet has very wisely not played his hand yet. He has not revealed the archers, but they're coming. And I'm assuming that, yes. So he's sending these archers, he's doing a timing attack, where his archers he'll reveal that he has archers, just as he hits the Castle Age, so he can get the crossbowmen and start working on bodkin arrow. And then there'll be this brief window where the technology advantage that he has over Wobbleton will be huge. And you notice he's holding this hill right here too, in case Wobbleton decides to come up here, but he's just distracting Wobbleton, just pulling these units away and distracting him. Very, very significant. I wonder where this villager's going. Hopefully to wall this off, or perhaps he's just not watching it. The Castle Age is coming, and yeah, Liivet's got his upgrades coming out. He just got fletching. Padded archer armor will finish just as he hits the Castle Age, which is perfect. Then he's going to get his bodkin arrow out, and then crossbowmen, and there's going to be a huge tech advantage. Wobbleton does not have a blacksmith out yet, which means that like the tech advantage is going to be significant, and I think Liivet knows this, which is why he's going in a little ahead of time. And yeah, now he's just going to stream archers across the map, and this is when Wobbleton's in big trouble. And you'll notice that, you know, he knows that he's low on gold because he's producing all these archers, so he's getting more and more miners. It's all about adjusting your economy to meet your needs. And look at this micro from Liivet. This is great. He's just shooting the spears and then backing up, and the superior control here is staggering. Liivet is playing this like an absolute mastermind, and we're going to see the crossbowman up. Yep, crossbowman's coming out. And where is his blacksmith? Yep, and bodkin arrow's coming out, and another town center. Great play here from Liivet. Wobbleton is trying, but looks like Liivet's superior control here is going to make the difference. And yes, I love this forward siege workshop at the top of the hill. Gotta really pressure him. Gotta seal the deal right now. I would say that, oh gosh, yeah. Liivet knows that he can just go in right now and it doesn't matter. He's just gonna hold this lumber camp and one-shot all these guys because he's got no blacksmith upgrades. Alright, really, really great game here from both players, and Liivet demonstrating that he's got intense mastery of Arabia and all the mechanics and whatnot. His micro is great, his economy management was great. He knows all sorts of advanced tactics like timing, like the timing attack in the Castle Age. Didn't invest too much in scouts, and really, I would say that the scouting and the control here was what won the game. Wobbleton has basically no vision, whereas Liivet knew everything all at once and just kept Wobbleton bottled in his base. Alright, so let's check out the achievements. Alright, so the score discrepancy here is pretty significant, as we can tell. And yeah, wow. Liivet's control, like I said, exceptional. He only lost 3 units, and I believe those were all scouts. and what a great trade it was to lose those scouts. So, definitely within his best interest. Wobbleton was definitely keeping up in his army size, but the tech advantage that Liivet had was gigantic. And yeah, you'll see the superior economy right here. Yeah, the exploration difference, I think that made the difference. This is a very fast feudal age, by the way, which is why he invested so heavily in hunting several things at once. He had both boars under his town center at the same time while he was hunting deer. And if you're playing Mongols and you're planning on going super aggressive in the feudal age, like as fast as you can to catch your opponent off guard, that's how you do it. And Wobbleton's feudal age was also good, but I don't think he was ready for the scouts. Perhaps if he had palisade walls or something, like houses, try and get a little bit of a wall off there. Yeah, the research count difference is also pretty significant. Wobbleton did keep up pretty well, though, with the villager high, I would say. But most of his were idle all the time, which was a shame. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this match, guys. I will be back in just a few minutes with the next match. And don't forget to check out the Aoe2 HD OZ Clan. They're the group that is hosting this tournament. Alright, so I'm going to be back in just a minute, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be right back.